more beautiful than anyone ever. Every day you're the same, never change, no, never. Every day, you're the same, you never change, no, never. And how could I ever deny the love of my Savior? You bought me everything, all I need forever. How could you be so good? There is no one like you. There has never not alone, the heavens sing along. My God, you're so astounding. How could you be so good to me? Eternally, I believe there is no one like you. There has never, ever been anyone like you. There is no one like you. There has never, ever been anyone like you. How could you be so good to me? How could you be so good to me? We're not alone, so sing along. We're not alone, so sing along, sing along, sing along. Here we go. There is no one like you. There has never, ever been anyone like you. There is no one like you. There has never, ever been anyone like you. There is no one like you. There has never, ever been anyone like you. There is no one like you. There has never been anyone like you. There is no one like you. There has never been anyone like you. There is no one like yeah.
God created the whole world, the sky, the sun, the plants, and all the animals. But he saved his best creation for last, people. The first person God created was a man. His name was Adam. Adam lived in the middle of a beautiful garden. God loved Adam, and Adam loved God. God told Adam, "Adam, I want you to take good care of everything I've made." God had another very special job for Adam. "Adam, I want you to name all the animals." Can you imagine? Adam got to give the animals names. I'll name you Brian, and you're Daphne. You're Henry. No, Adam. Not those kind of names. Oh. You're a lion. You're a giraffe. You're a... an anteater. Adam loved living in the beautiful garden, naming the animals and taking care of all the things God had made. But the thing Adam loved the most was being friends with God. God, you're my friend. Adam, you're my friend too.
Oh, hi friends! I was just thinking about how God made everything, like we were learning, and how God made us to be His friend. Because we're friends, He made all these awesome things for us to enjoy. You know, I think God was an artist, right? Because He created me, and He created you, and He created all sorts of beautiful things for us to enjoy. Some of the things that I like to enjoy, I like to paint. Because God made them so beautiful, it's inspiring, right? So sometimes I like to paint the stars. It's kind of silly, but this is what I like to imagine they might look like. Who knows? And sometimes when I think about how God created the world, I like to paint the mountains. I love going to the mountains, and I love painting the mountains. Then we got to learn how Adam got to name all of the animals. Can you imagine being the first person and trying to think of names for animals? He looked at this bird and he thought, that looks like a toucan. Or he saw this silly little creature and he thought, that looks like a raccoon. He even looked at this giant, fierce creature and he thought, let's call that lion. Well, that must have been a really cool job. And so cool to get to see all of those animals, right? You know, God did all of that. He made all of these animals and all of these beautiful things for us to enjoy. Because He is our friend. He was Adam's friend, He's my friend, and He wants to be your friend too. We just have to follow Him. You know, there's a really cool Bible verse that helps me remember that God is my friend. It's John 15:15. It says, I have called you friend. That's God. He calls us friend. You know, there's some motions that help me remember this Bible verse. Do you want to learn them? All right, here they go. It goes, I have called you friend. John 15:15. God is the best friend that we could ever have. He loves us so much because He made us like He made everything else. You know, He's with us wherever we go. He's here right now with me, and He's here with you wherever you are. He's so awesome that way. Well, I have some painting to finish, but you know what? Maybe you guys can try to guess what some of the cool pictures I'm painting are going to be. Let's see. What do you think this one is? That's right, it's going to be a butterfly. What about, this one? It'd be kind of hard. It's a longhorn cow. What do you think this one is going to be? A rhinoceros. I have a lot of work left to do on it, huh? All right, what about, this one? That's right, a cheetah. All right, friends, I'm going to finish some of my painting, but maybe you could paint some of the cool things that you like, that God made. See you next time. Bye.
He's the one who makes the sun shine. He's the one who puts the moon in the sky. He's the one who hung the stars one by one. He's the one who makes the birds sing. He's the one who makes your dreams
I just had the craziest dream. I just dreamt the whole forest was on fire. It was just a dream. But have you ever had those dreams that seem so real you wake up and you still feel like you're in it? That's how this one felt for sure. Probably because I forgot to put my fire out. Okay, nothing caught on fire. I think we're okay. But now that I'm up, how about a campfire story? Now, one of my favorite stories ever comes from the Bible, and it's about someone else who had dreams that felt real too. His name was Joseph. Joseph was one of 12 sons. 12. That's a big family, huh? But Joseph was special. In fact, he was his father's favorite. One day, his father Jacob gave him a special gift. It wasn't Joseph's birthday, it wasn't Christmas. He just liked Joseph more than his other sons. So he gave him a colorful coat. Joseph walked around in his coat. He loved it. It was a cool coat. But when his brothers saw him wearing a new coat, they remembered that their father loved Joseph more than any of them. Oh boy, the brothers were so upset. They were jealous and angry and hurt. They began to hate Joseph, their own brother. And Joseph didn't help things either. He was kind of a show-off. He walked around in that coat like he was really something. His brothers just hated him more and more. Then, Joseph made things even worse. Joseph told his father and brothers all about how God gave him some strange dreams.
I dreamed we were out in the field, tying up bundles of grain, when all of a sudden, my bundle stood up in the middle, and all your bundles gathered around it, and bowed down. I was a bundle of grain, and all of you guys were bundles of grain too. But all of your bundles were bowing down to my bundle.
That was a strange dream. And it made Joseph look even more like a show-off. So no one said a word. It looked like God would make Joseph a great leader someday. But it didn't really help how his brothers felt about him. They already hated him because he was such a bragger. They for sure didn't want to bow down to him. No way. So Joseph told them about his other dream.
I dreamed I was a star, and 11 other stars were bowing down to me. And the sun and the moon were bowing down to me too.
Joseph's brothers got even more upset with him when they heard this. They did not like him being the favorite, walking around in his fancy coat, and they definitely didn't like him bragging about bowing down to him in his dreams either. They were not going to bow down to their little brother. They didn't want anything to do with him and his weird dreams. But Joseph, even a bragger, he still had faith that God would do what he said and make him a great leader someday. One day, Joseph's father told Joseph to go check on all of his brothers out in the field, taking care of the family sheep. So he did. But when his brothers saw Joseph coming, they made a plan to get revenge on him. Ugh, there's that dreamer coming our way. Oh man, I can't stand that guy. They were so angry with Joseph, they hated him so much, they decided to kill him, their own brother. But one brother, he was the oldest, he was like, no, guys, we can't do that. He knew they were going too far. He didn't want them to kill Joseph, but he also didn't want his brothers to make fun of him for standing up for their bragging little brother either. So he was like, don't kill him, let's just throw him in that pit over there. That sounded like a good plan to the brothers. So when Joseph got close, they grabbed him and they took his colorful coat their father had given him and they threw him down into a pit. It was dark and damp down there. Ugh, creepy crawlies were rolling around and there was no way for Joseph to get out. So Joseph just stared up at his brothers, confused and hurt. Guys, what's going on? Hey, let me out of here. Give me back my coat. Hey, guys. Just then, the brothers looked over. They saw a bunch of camels and carts and people all traveling together. It was a group of traders on their way to Egypt with stuff to sell. One brother got an idea. Hey, we should sell Joseph as a slave to these traders, he said. Then we'll get some cash. The other brothers were like, yeah! And they went and they grabbed Joseph up out of the pit and sold him to be a slave. They watched as the traders put him in shackles, threw him on their cart, and rode away with him. Brothers wouldn't have to hear any more of those strange dreams or see him strutting around in his colorful coat. He was gone. They'd probably never see him again. Man, that's tough. Has someone ever been really mean to you? Like Joseph's brothers were mean to him? I had a friend, she used to be so mean to me. She would tell other people lies about me, and sometimes she would even hit me. Friends can be like that. Brothers too. Even kids at school could be mean sometimes too, huh? But when people are mean to us, even horribly mean, we can have faith that God is still there watching over us with a good plan. Joseph had that faith. Joseph probably bumped along on the road to Egypt with his hands tied and his brothers getting further and further behind him. He was probably wondering if he would ever see his family again. But when the sun went down and the stars came out and the traders stopped to camp for the night, Joseph laid down and looked up at the night sky, and he remembered something. The dream. He remembered all those stars bowing down to him. He remembered how he was the big star. But how could that dream ever make any sense now? Joseph was a nobody. He was on his way to be a slave. He'd be the one bowing down to everyone else. But Joseph knew where his dreams had come from. He knew they were from God. He had faith that even if things were looking pretty bad, they still had a chance to turn out someday, like his dream. He knew God had a plan for him to be a leader. His dreams told him that. He believed God. He had faith in him. Someday, he would be a leader. See, faith is being sure and knowing that what we hope for is real, even if we can't see it. Like God. The Bible says that faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. Well, we're going to find out next week what happens to Joseph in Egypt and if his dreams come true. Thanks for camping out with me. I'll see you next time for another campfire story.